Chase Thomas the Chase Thomas podcast. My nephew needs me to record. See, I already hate it. I hate it.
All right, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Chase Thomas podcast. From still the aforementioned Chase Thomas, coming to you live from Knoxville, Tennessee, Everything School HQ. Joining me down there in Decatur, Georgia, my good friend, Playing University of North Georgia alumni Matt Green, and host of the Georgia Voice of College Football is here. Matt, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, sir. It is good to be back with you. Still getting used to seeing your face over there. With your goatee guy now. I'm still getting used to it.
Big change. Do you think I should stick with it? Do you have any strong takes one way or the other?
No, I mean I think just keep it going. See how long this thing can go. See if you can. I almost thought I was doing the pod with Stone Cold Steve Austin there for a second. Thought it was Dan Quinn over there. But yeah, now see what you can do.
It's kind of funny to think about though, because I mean, obviously we've known each other for what, 10 years? Actually more than that. Probably 12. I would say
something like that.
Yeah. So you knew me like the younger hair, all that. Very different.
Yeah.
Couldn't grow anything. Like, how different must I look? You look the exact same. Like you might get a little bit more gray as you're talking about on the sides, but outside of that, I think most people will be like, yeah, Matt's not really, he looks about the same, what he did in college. I don't know. I feel like I would look drastically different at a reunion from what I looked like at North Georgia to now.
Well, especially, I mean, you look drastically different from what you did like the last 3 weeks. but yeah, it's I appreciate that. It's my boyish charm.
Yeah, there you go. You said drastically. I don't look drastically different.
Well, I'm just saying goatee versus no goatee is very different.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, your face looks different. Like, see these videos of these babies with like their dads like shave their beard for the first time and stuff, and they like don't recognize, or like toddlers, maybe not babies, but yeah, it's a change. I'm getting used to it. I think it suits you.
You think so? Yeah, I think I might stick with it. I might stick. I might be a goatee guy now.
Yeah, you could throw it in the logo, like Scott Van Pelt, it's got like the headphone logo. You just throw the goatee in there as well,
There you go. We shall see. It is the season for it, though. It is the season for facial hair and all that kind of stuff. But my wife she got rid of the sideburns and that. So this got cleaned up when she buzzed the hair over the weekend. So We're now full goatee. Like we're, like you said, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Chase Thomas. One and the same. Many forget.
Stone Cold Chase Thomas.
That's got to be the only time in my life that I will ever be compared to Stone Cold Steve Austin in a serious way. But hey,
there you go.
He's a legend, man. 2 legends.
Absolutely.
Paul Rudd. Who would have thought? Not me.
Yeah.
Well, Matt Green, speaking of this movie, my wife and I watched Caught Stealing with Austin Butler last night. Have you seen?
Is Austin Butler? Is that the 300 dude?
No, he's one of the biggest acting stars going right now.
I've never heard that name.
Austin Butler? The guy who played Elvis, he's in Dune. He's just now in Eddington. The Bike Riders.
I'll tell you right now,
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'll tell you right now, I'm never gonna see Dune. I feel like it's just
Dune's great.
I know people hype up Dune, but the story. One of my good friends tried to sell me on it, and I feel like his explanation how confusing it was. I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna get into this. I don't know.
Okay.
But no, I haven't seen the Elvis movie either. Yeah, I don't know. What was it? Dewey Roberts? No, that wasn't his name. Dewey Cox. What was I say? Dickie Roberts. Dickie Roberts is a different movie.
That was David Spade.
Dewey Cox. Yes, it kind of. I don't know. Maybe it soured me on the whole biopic movie in general. I don't know.
Well, I will say Priscilla is really good. The other one from the Priscilla Presley angle that came out a few years ago, but I forgot who played Elvis in that. But it was not Austin Butler. But Austin Butler's really good, man. He's in that up and coming Glenn Powell role. Several years younger, but
okay,
he's good. Austin Butler.
I'm a Glenn Powell fan. Chad Powers was a sneaky good show.
So have you watched it the whole season?
Into it. Yeah, it was only like 5 episodes, I think. I was disappointed. I was like, oh, that's it. That's all we get, or 6 episodes maybe.
Is it done? Like for sure?
I think so. I haven't looked.
Okay.
It was like a couple weeks ago. It was like a weekly thing, and I don't know. I don't think I've seen another episode.
Interesting.
But yeah,
5 episodes for opening season's really
it
low.
was kind of it was weird, but it hooked me. It was better than I thought it was going to be. But Gerard Butler, that's who I was thinking of, right? That was the dude from 300.
Not even, not
even close. Not even the similar actor.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
No.
I think I've seen the guy who played Elvis. So yeah, kind of looks like the guy from Stranger Things a little bit. The older one in Stranger Things, was his name like Harrington? Like the older teen that was with them. It's not important. We're getting
never watched Stranger Things.
No, it's a solid show.
It just never moved the needle for me. Never wanted to get in.
It was one of those things. It was like such a huge deal that I eventually gave in. Not going to do it with Dune, but I did give in with Stranger Things.
Dune's way less of a commitment. It's just a couple movies, Matt.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. The TV shows, it was a big thing. I'm glad I watched it. I don't know. What do they do? Like 3 seasons?
You about Stranger Things?
Yeah, 4
seasons. The new season, the final season comes out soon, right? The 5th season?
Are they still doing that?
Yeah, they had like a huge layoff. You're the fan. How do I know more about this?
I'm not like a fan. I just happen to watch it. Like I was like, okay, I've watched it. Some things like they're big enough. I'm like, I wanna be aware of this thing.
The new season comes out the 26th.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. They're like 28 years old now. I don't know how that's gonna work.
Yeah, it started 10 years ago.
Yeah, so we'll see. Let's get to football, sir.
Matt Green, this is ostensibly a college football show, a pod divided, Vols versus Dogs. So let's dive into our Georgia Tennessee portion of the program. We got to start off with Tennessee because Georgia obviously playing in a big game on Saturday night between the hedges against the Horns that we'll dive into. Much bigger game than what Tennessee did on Saturday night against the New Mexico State Aggies in Neyland Stadium, their final tune-up before traveling to Gainesville this week and then wrapping up the season against Vanderbilt. So a lot of takeaways from what was, I think, a slog. A lot of fans. It was just kind of it was a tough game to get through, man. Like Tennessee did not put a bunch on tape. Tennessee ran the ball a bunch in this game, did not challenge downfield at all.
Was this a night game?
Yes. Or afternoon. Night is relative now because with the time change getting dark at 5:30. Yeah. So it was 4:15 kick. So it was dark for most of the football game. But yeah, there were a lot of different things to take away, I think, from this game in terms of just big picture. And one of the things that I think we're still getting used to is not overreacting to week performances in this sport anymore, particularly in the SEC. I mean, Florida can get skull crushed by Kentucky on the road and then push Ole Miss to their limit. Georgia, they've struggled in these kind of games. They struggled. Who did y'all struggle with earlier this season?
With Auburn.
No, I'm talking about out of conference, like one of those New Mexico State. Was it Marshall this year?
Austin P was like 28-6. Yeah, Marshall. I think both of them were slow starts. Marshall, I think, was like 45-7 or something.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of where you're like, okay, it's important not to react. Yes, it's annoying this late in the season to have that kind of a sloggy, uninspired performance. I think one of the frustrating things is that George McIntyre did not get in until very late in the football game, the true freshman 4-star. Jake got a couple plays, but the backup offensive line didn't really give him a chance, and he struggled in his limited amount of action. And it was just kind of odd because Joey Aguilar even had to take a snap in the fourth quarter. And this is a game that you hope that George in particular would get a lot of run to just see where he's at in his development. And he probably most likely goes into a 9-month quarterback one battle between him and true freshman incoming 5-star Faison Brandon. But that didn't happen because the game was close, because Tennessee and Joey Aguilar in particular threw 2 first-half interceptions. That's 4 interceptions in his last 2 games for Joey Aguilar. So he is in the double digits in interceptions this year, but he's trending the wrong direction in terms of putting the ball in harm's way. And he's had a couple that still haven't been his fault. Like you could maybe argue the Kitzelman interception, the first one, was more on Kitzelman than Joey, but either way, it was an interception, and maybe just dual fault there for both sides. But I mean, that is something that's kind of something you just are a little concerned about, because you're traveling to Gainesville, and man, that can get wonky. And if Joey is struggling with first half interceptions like he has the last 2 weeks, then I don't see how Tennessee wins in Gainesville. And you can't give away those possessions against Vanderbilt, especially 2 weeks from now. So that is something that Joey Aguilar has to go back to how he was handling the football earlier in the season. So that's something I'm watching, is like the interception stuff has to get cleaned up. Like, and if Tennessee wants to finish 9-3, these interceptions cannot be a thing. Like, that just cannot, like, you cannot burn that many possessions. And then they have those frustrating 3-and-outs, or the offense gets bogged down, or like the second quarter in this game in particular was really bad for Tennessee offensively. And that's been kind of a theme for this Tennessee football team. And VolQuest Brent Hubbs has been pounding that drum all season, and doing a great job there. And I don't know. The offense, it's fine. I still think that Tennessee just was trying to get their running game going after the last couple of weeks of not being able to, and didn't really want to put out too much on tape, and keep it pretty vanilla ahead of Florida and Vanderbilt to wrap up the year. But I think defensively, I mean, the secondary, the corners were really good. Ty Redmond had a really great game. He had a great one-handed interception. Was awesome. He's gotten so much better as the season has gone on as a true freshman. He's going to be a player for Tennessee. Colton Hood, obviously good. Safeties were not good. Boo Carter, obviously not available and now dismissed from the team, and now into the portal here today. So he wasn't there. So McMurray was playing a bunch at star primarily. Jaden Perlotti is an absolute dude. I mean, that's a huge win for Tennessee. I thought he was awesome in this game, flying all over the place. He's going to be a great long-term player. The Buford linebacker, he's really fun to watch at linebacker. And then David Hobbs was really good too. But a lot of Tennessee guys were left out of this game who were dealing with some nagging injury stuff to get them healthy for the stretch run here in the final 2 weeks. But it's just there's some interesting things about this game, but I'm not going to overreact. I understand the temptation to overreact to a kind of uninspired performance here when you've got Florida and Vanderbilt here over the next 2 weeks. But I think it's hard to get up for these games late in the season too. I really do. Like, I think when you've played so many SEC games and it feels like you're past this point in the year, I think it's challenging to get these guys up to be like, hey, like, go into a game that you're going to win, like you're going to be able to coast. And I think it's hard to play inspired, aggressive football for 4 quarters. The biggest, I think it's interesting, but you cannot overreact, because if you were to tell me this Tennessee offense lit up Florida next week and played a great game in the Swamp, I wouldn't be surprised if they laid an egg for the 11th time in a row in Gainesville this century. Wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. It's just kind of the nature of the beast of the SEC right now, is that, like, you cannot overreact to these kind of games week to week. No one saw South Carolina going up 30-3 on the road with how their season had gone to this point. So I don't know. We'll see how Tennessee fares. I don't love that it's a night game. That seems like a bad omen for Tennessee going to the Swamp at 7:30 on Saturday, but we shall see. We got all week to think and talk about it. But yeah, these games are tough, man. A bye week after a loss to Oklahoma at home to knock you out of the playoff, and then have to sit with it for 2 weeks and then get this game, is just a bummer. So basically 3 weeks in between important football games from mid-October to mid-November. It's just, I don't know. It's bad scheduling. Like, it's just bad scheduling for the fans. Cause it's been weird in Knoxville the last 2 weeks. Like, it's just, there's no juice around football right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's at some point they got to do something about the November games. I think we got like 6 or 7 of them next week too. The November cupcakes are it's just the biggest buzzkill down the stretch of the season. Like, I mean, it's cool that Georgia's, conference schedule is done now, like from a strategic standpoint, but it's kind of lame for the final SEC game to be on November 15th. But yeah, I guess I'm just fully transparent here. I didn't watch probably a second of this game with all the other things that were happening. So just scoreboard watching and seeing, 21-3 at the half, that's like uncharacteristic for Tennessee in some of these games. So I guess what do the fans want to be up 4 or 5 touchdowns at that point? Like I see 42-9. Like, is there outrage with how Tennessee played in this game?
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee did not play well at all in this football game, and that was kind of deceiving because it was 21-3 at the half. It was, and I think the other part of it too was that Aguilar had to play a lot of this football game, especially into the third, because this game was still relatively close going into the end of the third quarter. So that you didn't really break it open until midway to the end of the third quarter. And I think that's more of the issue, is that it was 21-3 at the half, and you were hoping this game was over at the half so that you could you could empty the bench for the second half, because we're now in evaluation season, right? Like you have one portal window and it's 14 days. And you've got to figure out who's going to help you on this roster next year, who looks like they're far away, who's going to be worthy of a raise, who's not. You know what I mean? Like this was their last opportunity to give some of these young guys an opportunity to get them an extended look, because they're not going to play against Florida and Vanderbilt. So you kind of hoped you would get more time with some of these young guys that you're curious about in their development and where they're at, and if they're going to be able to potentially help you next year. And then some key injuries. Kitzelman going down. Wendell Moy went down in the second half too. So 2 starters, one at guard and one at tight end. So we'll see what their availability looks like this week too. But yeah, I mean, I don't think this was an inspiring performance. And I just think a lot of folks were kind of frustrated that George McIntyre has not played really at all this year. And he only got 2 passes late in this football game once again. So it was not great. I don't think it's how Tennessee drew it up, was to have to play the starters deep into the third quarter in this football game.
Fair enough. You got to speak to Joey Aguilar's consistency though, right? Like you look at his stats, his career stats, it's like this is about what he does, right? Like 25 touchdowns, double-digit picks. It's like it's amazing that Tennessee, with how they were, just hung out to dry by Nico, were able to kind of salvage this season the way they have been. Like maybe I've lowered the expectations too much, but I mean, they still had a respectable season. Like no reason this team can't finish 9-3 and beat Florida or Vanderbilt. Like they're definitely gonna be favored at Florida, right? Has that spread come out already?
Yeah, I think it's 5.5. It may have dropped a little bit to 4.5, but I think it was 5.5 last I checked.
Okay. And then, I mean, they could be favored versus Vanderbilt, honestly. Like, they probably won't, but I don't know. Like, those are going to be 2 very winnable games for them to close out the season. Like, maybe it's just me. Maybe Tennessee fans, they're used to seeing a certain thing in these cupcake games, and I'm a Georgia fan. It's like, I don't ever care about these cupcake games, and I don't think Kirby does either, and doesn't care about style points. So maybe Tennessee fans are like, yeah, we usually just drop 60 in these games. Like, what the hell? What the hell's going on?
Well, I think it's the combination where no one wants to watch these games. They don't want to get up for these games, and then it's just a slog. Like there's nothing worse than them. It not even get to enjoy a fun blowout. Like it's just, yeah, it was not a fun
Rocky Top a few dozen times.
Yeah, it just wasn't a fun 3.5 hours. I would say the uniforms were not great.
Oh, awful. I'm glad you mentioned that. Burn those things, man. It looks like Adidas is already designing the uniforms. What were those things? The dark mode, awesome alternate. I have my opinions about teams rocking black, but Tennessee gets away with it. They look great, but no, burn those great jerseys.
Yeah, the Smokies are very hit or miss, and those were not my favorite. Just a lot of different color tones, and just a lot of different. I don't know. Just they were very busy. There was a lot going on.
Doing too much for sure.
Doing too much. Well, Matt Green, how do we do in our Week 12 pick'em here?
Week 12 pick'em, pretty solid week for the 2 of us here. Let's see. You picked up another game on the money line. You went 8-3. Money line. I went 7-4 this week. Who are your misses? You missed Bama, Arkansas, and Cincinnati. I missed those same 3, and I also missed Mississippi State. And then against the spread, I went 8-3 this week, and you went 7-4. So, what were your misses? My misses against the spread were Mississippi State, USC, and Cincinnati. You missed Ole Miss, Alabama, or Texas A&M, Pitt, and USC. So yeah. And then Zeus, we're just gonna give him an NA for week 12. No home dogs of the weeks on our No, he didn't believe in any of the home dog of the week. He had Mississippi State as his road dog of the week, but we're not actually going to count that against his home dog record. But yeah, Bulldogs let us down all the way around. Missouri was pretty dominant in that one. What's his name rushed for 300 yards, right? Hardy in that one.
Yeah, that was a good call. Like Hardy. I mean,
that was a good call by you. I think you called Mississippi State's run defense out.
Hardy's a good player, man. I just feel kind of bad for him this year because Mizzou kind of fell off with the injuries at quarterback, but he's a great year. And I think he's got multiple years, right? He's not a one and done there.
I'm not sure about that. But yeah, also Notre Dame.
Yeah, he's a sophomore. Yeah, he transferred early. I thought he was
okay.
I thought he was pretty young. So Mizzou fans get to enjoy that. So he should be back for another year. I mean, he's a true sophomore here. But yeah, this year he's averaging 7 yards a carry, 1,300 yards, 15 TDs. Good player, man.
He's having a huge year. But yeah, Notre Dame went exactly as I expected, sir. But despite with the ESPN, the Pitt propaganda, the ESPN was trying to spread, trying to hype that game up. We all knew that was going to be a game that Notre Dame was going to dominate.
Pat Narduzzi knew.
Right? And he's not upset about it.
No. Do you see that tense handshake after the game?
No.
Yeah, Mark Freeman, quick handshake. He was trying to get out of there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I think Pat Narduzzi called a late timeout or something in the game. Something like that. Do you have a green line stat of the week this week, Matt Green?
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of green line stats of the week, sir. Which one? You want me to go with Georgia? You want me to set up the Georgia green line stat of the week?
Yeah, then we can get into Georgia. This will be a nice transition.
How about this, sir? Where do I have my stats here? I totally wrote it down somewhere. Last 3 years, Georgia has outrushed Texas 377 to 83, sir. Texas has had 23 rushing yards in this game. Actually, their average was up. They averaged 1.4 yards a carry in this one. They had averaged 1.1 yards a carry in each of the previous 2 meetings. So Georgia just being able to absolutely suffocate Texas's run offense was definitely something I anticipated. Because it's been a weakness of Texas's all year, and it's been a strength of Georgia's all year. And I'm not even sure I was projecting 23 yards. Like, that was just, they made him one-dimensional, and Arch Manning, wasn't able to make enough plays in the pass game, or his receivers also weren't able to make enough plays in the pass game. Not all on Arch.
Yeah, and this was an intense game. I mean, obviously, I want to start with the highlight, which was the onside kick. And Andy Staples did a great write-up on On3 about it and how the callback to Kirby and Saban with the Saban smirk against Clemson and Deshaun Watson and Kirby before the kick, right? You could see him smirking or excited about it. Was that something on the camera angle? Or?
Yeah, they showed they had this side by side on the broadcast there for a second. He just looked maybe a little more locked in than a coach usually looks like when you're about to just having a kickoff after a touchdown. But yeah,
what was your reaction in real time?
It was this is a kind of a random throwback, but it's one of just the memories I can think of, just being shocked of I remember this play vividly. Jermaine Burton's touchdown against Michigan in the Orange Bowl a few years back. And I think it made it it was 28-3 or something, 27-3 or something, in the second quarter. And just in the room, we're all just and it was also kind of an awkward play because the guy kind of misjudged it. And it was a 50-yard bomb. And it's what is happening right now? We're just obliterating Michigan. And it's after losing SC championship, people were kind of down. It was it was just kind of shocking. So that was kind of the first thing I can think of, because when it happened, we just almost didn't react. It was just oh my God, did we really just pull that off? It was legendary stuff, man. I have another stat for you. Georgia possessed the ball for 16 and a half of the final 20 minutes of the game. A lot of it due to that onside kick. It's one thing to dominate the fourth quarter, but they just decided not to give the other team the ball in the fourth quarter. It was amazing. Just what this Georgia team seems to do. Every game just kind of starts to dominate the fourth quarter. But yeah, Texas had all the momentum at that point. Also just bringing it to Kirby, I think maybe we're to the point where like we finally give Kirby like the credit he deserves as like a truly like in-game coach and just strategist and that sort of thing. And he's not just a great recruiter, because these are like, this is 2 years in a row versus Texas. Like, Texas had all the momentum in the SEC championship before they ran that fake punt to Arian Smith that kept the drive going. And then a couple weeks ago against Mississippi State, where he was doing that whole thing, running the punt team on and off, and then pretending to go for it, drawing them off sides and stealing 7 points before halftime, just kind of manipulating the game. Like, that's exactly what he did in this one. Like, Texas had all the momentum after they made it 14-10, after the Gunnar Stockton interception. And they're sitting on 4th and 2 on their own 36-yard line. Like, kind of knew like the game is not going our direction right now. And Bobo just dialed up a hell of a game, just making great play calls. And that 4th down conversion was one of them. He loved getting Chauncey Bowens. I don't know if something was doing with Texas, something Texas was doing, just not covering the running backs in the flat. But Chauncey Bowens had multiple just little 1st down catches like that. And then later on that drive, he also went for it again on 4th down and drew Texas offside. So they stayed so aggressive. And just the fact that Texas offense, when they had momentum, left the field, it was 14-10. And the next time they got on the field, they were down 28-10. Like, it just changed the entire complexion of the game. Like, Georgia just was able to dominate down the stretch.
Yeah, this one, man, it just kind of spoke to what we thought about Texas all year, right? Which was, Texas isn't bad. Texas didn't get boat raced in this game, but Georgia was better, and Georgia has their number. And I do kind of wonder what it is about what it is about Georgia that gives Texas a lot of problems. But I don't know. I do think this is just kind of a down year. There were a lot of drops in this game. Like, Arch's receivers did not help him in this football game, but it never felt like Texas was going to win, right? Like, Texas just kind of felt like from the beginning on that they were their backs were against the wall. Like, I never felt at any point in that game that Texas was going to win. Like, some road games, you just feel like, oh, yeah. Like, you could feel it early against Oklahoma with Tennessee. We're like, you can kind of feel how this game can go the wrong way for Tennessee here. They're really making some mistakes and playing with their food here in the first half. Like, they're giving Oklahoma an opening. It never felt like Georgia was playing. Like, even after it felt like the onside kick was an icing. Like, that just felt like that's done. Like, this is cooked. But I don't know. It just felt like Georgia was the better team from the beginning to end and just took care of business. Like, this game never once felt in doubt.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Also, I mean, I would say just as far as pregame goes, like, I wasn't nervous for this game like I have been for other big games for Georgia this year, like for Tennessee or for Auburn or for Alabama, like even Florida, Ole Miss. Yeah, definitely Ole Miss. Like, I would say all of those games, I had more nervous energy. My nervous energy from this game came from like, I'm nervous that I'm so confident about us beating the number 10 team in America, like. And I don't even think it's like reading into like last year's domination either. It's just kind of like, I'm not sure how good this Texas team is. And I think Georgia's finding their stride at the right time. And so there was a lot of talk about Texas hitting their stride in recent weeks. And I'm just like, I mean, with all due respect to Vanderbilt, they played Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and Kentucky. Like, yeah, sure. Like, Mississippi State is another game that I'm saying Georgia played a complete game in. So, like, those teams have been good, but like, they didn't exactly play well versus Mississippi State and Kentucky. They found ways to win those games. Like, so that's kind of my Buzz Killington on this game is I don't think Texas is legit this year personally. Like, they're 7-3 now. This team could be 5-5. Like, honestly, they're kind of an average SEC team this year, but I still think I think in terms of what Georgia was able to do, it's still like now for the second week in a row, we're saying Georgia played their most complete game of the season. I do think 35-10 is boat raced, right? Like, that you got to call that boat race, right?
I guess. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
It was close going in the fourth quarter. It's 14-10 going into the fourth for sure.
Was this Gunner's best game, or at least his most complete game yet as a dog?
I don't know. Those Ole Miss, I don't have his game log pulled up. That Ole Miss and Tennessee performances were pretty big time as well. But I think this is who Gunnar Stockton is, honestly. Like, and just it feels like Mike Bobo knows exactly what his quarterback can do and knows exactly how to use him. Like, it just feels like that QB sweep they called at one point on the third down that Stockton picked up. Like, that gave me Stetson Bennett vibes. And then a couple plays later, you call that play, essentially fake that play. Gunnar looks like he's running again, and then the defense comes up and he hits Lawson Lucky for the touchdown. And then also, but the rushing touchdown where he freaked the guy, like that was Stetson Bennett-esque, if I've ever seen it. But yeah, Gunnar Stockton just fits this team so much. Like last week, I was talking about Gunnar Stockton needs to be at least in the Heisman invitation sort of conversation. This guy needs to be in the Heisman Trophy conversation. Like, he's been as good as any player in college football, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm not saying he's got the highest ceiling, he's going to be the number one pick, or other guys don't have more talent, whatever it is. The dude is playing as good as any player in college football. He's like third nationally in QBR. Like, his rushing ability, like what he does to the defense, like, dude can pass. Was he 19 touchdowns to 3 picks on the season, complete 70% of his passes? Like, he's doing every bit what Fernando Mendoza and Julian Sayin have done this year. Like, and he's doing it against much more legit competition. Like, have you even watched any of Fernando Mendoza or Julian Sayin's games? Like, no one's watching these games, the Big Ten. Then Michigan State, Penn State at 3:30 CBS this past week. I don't think anyone even knew that game was on when Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson were calling it. Like, it's just, Gunner's done this against Ole Miss, against Tennessee, did lose to Alabama, but he's playing these big games. Now he's done it against Texas. Like, it's just, he'll have another game against a ranked team in Georgia Tech in a couple weeks. But yeah, I think with what Gunner's been through this season, like, this guy should be well in the thick of the Heisman race.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in there. I think he's playing his best football, right? Like you said, he's super accurate. He is able to use his legs effectively. He's a load to bring down. He's not afraid of contact. Great leader. He's just found his groove. And I think Georgia has it's kind of like they know who their identity is offensively, right? They know who their contributors are. They know the 1-2 punch in the backfield is Chauncey Bowens and Nate Frazier, and then Cash Jones on third down. Like, you kind of know what the order of operations there is now. You also know what the receiver situation is, right? Like, Noah Thomas is coming to his own. He had 2 touchdowns in this game. He's one of your guys due to the injury to Colby Young. Zachariah Branch in the slot. London Humphrey's out there too. And then Dylan Bell every now and then, where he's in a number 4 role, basically. And that just feels more natural to him, where I felt like last year he had a lot more pressure and he was way up the food chain, and that was just not where he belonged. Now he has way less pressure on him, and he's in more of a gadget, like, if we need him, we use him type of deal. But I just feel like Georgia's offense everybody knows their role. And if they stay healthy, I just think top 5 offense, and the defense obviously getting better and better each week too. Like Quintavious Johnson and those guys were playing really well in this football game. So DeMello Jones, I thought popped for me.
Don't get me started on DeMello Jones, man. That's my new favorite player. You know how I love physical defensive backs. Javon Bullard was my guy, just like my favorite Georgia player in years. But yeah, man, DeMello Jones, I don't know whose spot he took, if it's Ellis Robinson or if it's Jonel Aguero. He was playing a little bit of both. But DeMello Jones is one of Georgia's 5 best DBs, and he needs to be on the field. Like, this dude made multiple plays, just how physical he is on the edge, and he can cover. He's making plays on the ball. Oh, I'm a big DeMello Jones fan. Like, as good as the offense was, and I think this offense needs to be talked about a lot. And I just, like you said, it's the identity that excites me the most. It's just, you have these 2 just great, perfect, like, balanced tight ends, Oscar Delp and Lawson Lucky. And now you have a third true freshman, Elias Williams, is just a freak. And you can run 2-3 tight end sets. It doesn't really matter. And the receivers just 4 or 5 deep, and just guys who can just make plays. Like London Humphreys only makes big plays. Like, he only makes consequential plays. It's either touchdowns or it's third down conversions. Like, he's just it seems like every reception London Humphreys makes, it's like, okay, that was a big play. And then he's kind of the forgotten. He's like 4th or 5th or so that you kind of forget about. But yeah, the fact that Colby Young went down, I felt like Colby Young was really, like, taking his game to another level this year. Like, he looked like a dude. And Noah Thomas is just able to step in now for a touchdown in 4 straight games. Like, he's just basically stepping into what what Colby Young was doing. Like, it's just, and you said it, like I've said the exact same thing about Dylan Bell. Like, I love the role that Dylan Bell has in this offense. And Chauncey Bowen's coming on for Georgia the way he has been huge. But I even said it early, even after the Alabama game, like, this offense will need Nate Frazier. Like, Chauncey Bowens, it's awesome that we're getting another contributor back there, but you can see Nate Frazier, the way he moves, how explosive he is. He is the RB1. Like, he's got the higher upside. He hasn't fumbled the ball in a few weeks, knock on wood. So maybe that's behind him, but he's definitely taken his game to the next level in recent weeks. And this offense is just, it's so dangerous. But like I said, with all that said about the offense, I do think the defense is kind of the number one story because, yeah, like you said, on that opening possession, it never felt like Texas was going to win the game, because that's usually when Georgia fans feel like the other team's going to win the game, is that opening drive. They just drive down 14 plays, 75 yards for a touchdown on the opening possession. The fact that you held them to a field goal, it's like, okay, this could be good. So the fact that they were creating pressure, hold this team to 10 points, like, CJ Allen even got hurt and you almost didn't even notice. They just kept flying around to the ball. It was multiple different guys that were creating pressure too. Like, the one play early in the game where I just, probably the play that made me like most confident was that play where Quintavious Johnson gets pressure. It's a 3rd and 3. Quintavious Johnson gets pressure, and then they throw it to the tight end, and CJ Allen just rocks him for like a loss of 2 or 3. It's like, when you're on every part of the play, it's like, okay, this defense they're bringing their A game today. So I feel like, yeah, the defense, I'd kind of accepted the fact, okay, maybe this team can win a championship without a pass rush. We'll see what can happen. But if they can find a pass rush and a DB like DeMello Jones is emerging, this defense could actually be solid by the end of it. And I think we know how good this offense is.
I think that's fair. Well, Matt Green, let's go to Oklahoma, or Tuscaloosa, rather, because Oklahoma, the Sooners, the Road Warriors, they stun the Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa. The first home loss in the Kalen DeBoer era at Alabama. In your estimation, though, is
loss
this
in the black hoodie? Sorry to interrupt.
The black hoodie thing. Yeah, I forgot about that. So, is this a bad loss, or is it time to view OU differently now that they're firmly a good college football playoff bet, Matt Green?
Yeah, it's different. Without doubt, not a bad loss. It's a loss to a good team. I mean, if you're Alabama, you don't want to lose. No SEC team wants to lose at home. So, like, yeah, if any losses at home is a bad loss, then sure. But no, it's not like you lost to a bad team or anything. Like, I actually predicted the exact score of this game, sir. I unfortunately didn't have the guts to pick Oklahoma to win it, but I thought Oklahoma was going to give Alabama everything they wanted in this game. And this defense, man, this defense is just so fun to watch. It's just, they just create havoc plays, man. Like, it's the definition of havoc plays. Just destroying the other team's quarterback, just lighting up the running backs. Like, they just fly to the ball. The pick 6 early in this game, Oklahoma is so fun to watch. And I feel like I felt like kind of the pressure people were talking about with Brent Venables was so premature. Like, he had a great season in 2023. Like, yeah, his first year in the SEC with a ridiculous schedule. It was bad. You know, it's like, I think if Texas and Oklahoma had exact schedules over the last 2 years, I'm not 100% sure who would have the better record, honestly. Like, Texas has gotten a lot of favors that Oklahoma hasn't gotten, but I feel like it's like a perfect example of how, like, off-season logic and, like, it just does not apply to in-season logic at all. It's like in the off-season, people are like, this team, really tough schedule. They lose 3 or 4 games. They might still be a top 12 team. And then you get in the season, it's like, no, what's the record? No, get the hell out of here. We're not talking 3-loss team. Like, Oklahoma is a really good team. This team has played in so many big games this year. Like, and they've gotten up for all of them. Like, there's, other than Texas, which I feel like is the game where Mateer was clearly the most injured, and probably Ole Miss too. Like, those are probably 2 of their worst performances, like the first 2 games after the Mateer injury. And he still didn't look great in this one. Their offense didn't look great with like 250 total yards or something. But man, they found a way. You force 3 turnovers and you can win a lot of games.
There is a scenario where 10-2 Michigan might have to match up against 9-3 Oklahoma, and Oklahoma has the head-to-head.
Who's Oklahoma got left? Do you think they're losing one of their last 2 games?
I think they're losable. I wouldn't predict them to lose. They're both at home. Mizzou this upcoming week, and then LSU the week after.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, I mean they'll be favored in both of those. I think they should be able to beat both those teams.
It just wouldn't. I mean, again, what did we just see from South Carolina? They were up 30-3 on the road. So I mean,
that's fair.
Like I'm not going to pretend to just say they're going to coast and just win both. So I'm saying even if they lost one of those, I think you still have to put them in at 9-3. I think Oklahoma with this schedule, and that was something I had jotted down. It's just that like this was the preseason #1 hardest schedule in college football. And we're talking on this very program here on November 16th, Matt Green, that they have a very real shot where they'll be favored to go 10-2 against that schedule. 10-2.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Like Brent Venables has had an unbelievable, he's coach of the year in the SEC. Like I don't think there's any question. This breakthrough is huge for Venables. And like you said, the front seven's nasty and they've dealt with injuries too. And I don't think I've talked about their receivers. The running game has been non-existent. One of the things you look at the stats in this game, Matt Green, it's not like Oklahoma lit it up offensively. The defense making plays, they've really turned over Alabama in a spectacular fashion the last 2 instances against the Tide. But like they ran the ball 28 times, 74 yards, 2.6 yards per carry. Mateer, 6 yards per attempt, 138 yards, no TDs, no picks. He wasn't able to do much on the ground either. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Have that one sick run though.
But I mean, like it's still like they're not overwhelming you offensively. Like the Ben Arbuckle hire has been good, but it's not like this offense. Mateer's just a great leader. It just feels like there's real belief. He's been
gritty.
He's very gritty.
Moxie.
He has him and Gunnar Stockton are kind of cut from the same cloth, I think, in a lot of ways. But I just think hats off to him for being able to pull off a college football playoff appearance with the toughest preseason schedule in college football. I just think that's a hat tip, man. And yeah, I don't know. I came away so impressed. And I just think if you're an Alabama fan, really upset over the week, I'm like, man, look, I mean, Oklahoma's a good team. They're a playoff team. Bama's going to be a playoff team as long as they don't fumble away these final 2 weeks or lose to Auburn or something silly.
It's just Auburn, right? I think they play like Mercer or something. Or
like as long as they beat Auburn, they're in the playoff. Like just beat Auburn, you're in the playoff. I mean, even if you don't, probably, I don't know. I guess 9-3 is a little bit more on the table. More of a question mark if they get in.
9-3 Alabama, I'm not sure does get in.
Especially if Vanderbilt goes 10-2. Because if Vanderbilt goes 10-2, then 9-3 Alabama probably is definitely out there. But yeah, I mean, Bama just beat Auburn, you're all right. But I don't think it's a bad loss. Like I understand it's frustration that you're Alabama, but look, man, like one home loss in 2 years, like you're still in a good spot to make the playoff this year. But look, I mean, Oklahoma's a really good team. That defense is nasty. You got to clean up some stuff offensively for Alabama. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's the end of the world. I think Bama's a playoff team. I think Oklahoma's a playoff team. And that was just a great football game, right?
Yeah, I think that's all it is, you know. Well, I mean, there's reasons to be a little concerned just because Ty Simpson didn't look great in this game. Like, I think supposedly he hurt his finger like midweek or something this week, but like he was missing open guys in this game as well. Also, like Ryan Williams, do we need to have a conversation about Ryan Williams being overrated? Like, I don't know. He just does not have like the mentality of like the previous Alabama like receivers. Like there's those dudes that they have. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm holding them to an unrealistic standard because Alabama has brought in some ridiculous receivers through the years, but I don't know. They just, and the fact that they can't run the ball, like it's just not a vintage Alabama team. Like the way they have to win games. Like I was just looking it up earlier. Georgia has 3 rushers with more yards than Alabama's leading rusher this year. Like it's kind of wild the lack of run game from an Alabama team. Like it's like you saw some of these play calls they had to do, like busting out the whole like fake to the sideline, like and then direct snap to the running back, and then like that. Greg McElroy convinced me. I mean, I think Ty Simpson, they called a pretend to stumble play. Like that was a play that to pretend to stumble on a play action, a pretend to stumble play action, like, and then that little that fourth down play they called, which is like a sick play where they had Proctor in it at running back. Like they had to pull out all the stops to move the ball on this Oklahoma team. Like they're not able to just run the ball at anybody and have success. So that's a real concern, I think, for Alabama, like as far as their like championship hopes go. I mean, it's how much pride Auburn has is going to kind of determine like their season, because going into Jordan-Hare Stadium is never easy, but I just don't know what to make of Auburn at this point in the season. But yeah, Alabama, I don't know. It's hard to know exactly what to make of this team right now. But huge win for Oklahoma.
100%.
Oh, I got one stat for you, sir.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal this tweet from at Boomer Paul on Twitter. In the past 2 years, Oklahoma is 0-2 versus Texas. Texas is 0-3 versus Georgia. Georgia is 0-2 versus Bama, and Bama is 0-2 versus Oklahoma. Just a wild thing that's happening here in the SEC.
You know what's funny? Like, I just think Oklahoma, like everyone was worried about Oklahoma, right? Coming into the SEC, everyone was more bullish on Texas. Oklahoma's more set up, man. Like the physical style, like there is something about the way Venables has them rolling where it's like they're crafting their identity and they're figuring some stuff out. And obviously they recruited a high level just like Texas, but it just feels like they can handle. I mean, Kirby talked about in the postgamer, right? Like the whole cash and checks and like we hit people or something like that. I'm paraphrasing here a little bit. Oklahoma does that. Oklahoma hits people. Oklahoma is a physical bunch, and they're figuring some stuff out. I like if you're buying stock in an SEC team among the two there between Oklahoma and Texas, I'm buying more Oklahoma stock, right? Like I think Oklahoma's got a stronger trajectory. Playoff team this year, most likely, and Texas is definitely not going to be one this year. So yeah, I mean, I think going into next year too. I mean, I guess we'll see on the quarterback front replacing Batir, but I don't know. It feels like they're figuring some stuff out and their identity out at Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's fair. And shout out to Brent Venables, because I do think like there's a bias towards offensive minded coaches and them being the gurus and everything like that. And Brent Venables with his identity, like he's just given Oklahoma an edge. And it also feels like this is what Oklahoma fans want. Like they put up with like the Sam Bradford years and all like the scoring the point and Lincoln Riley, but at their core, Oklahoma is old school blue blood football. Like they need to get back to those days of just playing, badass defense. The Roy Williams, Tommy Harris days. Who's that linebacker? Teddy Lehman, was that the linebacker with Roy Williams? Like they just need to get back to those early Bob Stoops days where that team played serious defense. Like, and that I guess was probably under Brent Venables, huh? Probably the last time they played defense in the early 2000s. I can't remember what years he was at Oklahoma, but
I guess my biggest thing that I was worried about we got to move forward, but like just the Dabo coaching tree has just been really bad. But this year is the Dabo coaching tree resurgence, Matt Green. Tony Elliott and Brent Venables both on their way to double-digit win seasons. Just when I thought I was out, they bring me back in.
Yeah, I was thinking like the what is it? Oh, the Thanos kind of meme, but what did it cost? It cost Clemson just crumbling as a program this year for his assistants to do well.
I didn't even put that. I like that. That is that's true. Hey, they got to win. They upset Louisville on Friday night.
That's true.
Knocked Louisville out of the ACC title race. So there you go. They're still fighting for bowl eligibility. That South Carolina Clemson game here in a couple of weeks is going to be something else. Speaking of South Carolina, they blew a 30-3 halftime lead in the Texas A&M game on Saturday afternoon. And one of the more bonkers second halves you'll see. Honestly, one of the more bonkers games. I should clarify, because the first half was definitely more bonkers than what we saw. What we saw in the second half was what we thought we would see in the first half with Texas A&M, but missed field goals, turnovers, all kinds of crazy stuff from A&M, and that 30-3 deficit that they built for their team. But I mean, what was the most mind-boggling part of the second half collapse to you for the Gamecocks, Matt Green?
I mean, just the fact that you scored 0, like, and against a team that you just scored 30 again in one half. Like you couldn't score 1 point. Like obviously we don't score in ones in football, but you couldn't get a field goal. Like, and where were they on that? I literally called it when it happened on that first drive of the third quarter. Let's see, they got all the way down to the 30. Like, that wasn't a gimme, especially the wind was a little brutal in that game. But I called it at the time. Like, they're sitting at 4th and 1 on the 30-yard line. That's a 47-yard field goal. Like I said, in the wind, maybe not easy. And you're like, we can get 1 yard. I felt like there's no reason to give A&M any momentum. Kick a field goal, just add to the lead. Like, just you shouldn't be forcing the issue in any way. You're up 30-3 at halftime. So at this point, you're up 30-10 because they scored on the opening possession in the second half. But kick the field goal, maybe go up 33-10. That would have been all you needed. All you needed is 33 points to win this game. But yeah, I felt it. It was crazy how in my group chat, like how after that they got stopped and then they came down the field pretty quick. It was 30-17 with like 4 minutes left in the third quarter. It was like South Carolina is definitely losing this game. Like, everyone knew South Carolina is losing this game. I probably texted you as well. Like,
yeah,
they may have still been up 3 touchdowns, and you're like, they're losing this game. You could already just feel the energy. But I mean, that was the worst first half of football I may have ever seen a team play. Like, in Texas A&M. Like, I don't know if we're going to penalize them for this because they did pull it out and played like a flawless second half. But I've never seen a team miss 2 missed field goals. Marcel Reed, a Heisman candidate, just playing his worst ball I've ever seen. Just multiple interceptions. Just A&M was just doing everything they could to lose a game. And then in the second half, they did the opposite of that. It was just, I've never seen a game like that. I'm sure you've seen the stat already. They put it on the screen, but teams trailing since 2004, teams trailing by 27 plus in a game were 0-286. Well, now they are 1-286. Like, just a bizarre game, man. And also the celebrating at halftime from Shane Beamer, man. Ugh. That's brutal. Like, that's just, I know you're up 30-3, but man, I don't know.
That one was a tough look. I didn't even catch that in real time going into the half, but it's like, it reminded me a lot, I mean, honestly, of 28-3 with the Falcons, where you're like, even as it's happening, you're still like, everything has to continue to go wrong. Like, it's such a huge deficit that, like, Falcons just need one thing to go right here. Like, this one catch and the game's still over and they're still going to escape here. It's going to be embarrassing, but it's like, nope, that's not even going to work. And you're like, wow, every little thing that could possibly go wrong went wrong. Like, if South Carolina, like you said, they convert one of those second half drives into 6, they're going to win that game.
3.
Even 3. Like, all they had to do is 1, like you said. Like, it's just the odds of that happening.
Scored, right? The Falcons scored after being up 28-3. They weren't shut out the rest of the game, right?
Ooh,
if I remember correctly.
It's been 8 years.
You haven't looked into that one in a while.
I have not gone back and looked at that one in a while.
But yeah, just to not score another point.
No, they did not. It was 34-28. Yeah.
34-20. Oh, okay. I was thinking they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, man. I don't know. I don't know that the Beamer era recovers from this one.
That's a tough one. Like, that is a tough collapse, because that was a program shifting road win, right? Like, if you crush A&M, the undefeated team on the road, you're like, oh, we got juice again. Like, Beamer's turning it around. Like, we feel really good. Now you're like, oh. I mean, just, you're not going to a bowl game. You've got 7 losses now.
That's what I was going to say. You also went to 4-6 with a win, and with Coastal Carolina and Clemson left. Like, that definitely could have been a bowl game saving win for sure.
And now, that's crushing.
Who deserves more blame, Shane Beamer or Lenora Sellers?
Beamer, because I mean, it's still the staff and the players around him. Like, the offensive line and the running game has been bad all year for South Carolina. So, like, Sellers hasn't been great, but I don't think he's gotten a lot of help this year around him. I think the supporting cast on offense has been pretty bad.
He just holds on to the ball so much. Like, this man needs to learn. Bo Nix needs to teach a clinic about not taking sacks. Bo Nix is the greatest I've ever seen. In terms of, dude, just find a way to throw the ball away and not take a sack. Like, Lenora Sellers needs to take some notes. I know A&M gets after it. Like, their pass rush is sick, but I don't know. He was just holding on to the ball so much. Like, they just, man, I've never seen anything like it. Like 30-3 at halftime, and to lose that game. Also to just lose it as quickly as they did. Like by the start of the fourth quarter, it was like a tie game. They may have taken the lead like early fourth quarter. Like it was unreal.
I think I'm an A&M fan though. There is some worry because like Marcel Reed that was a full on first half implosion. Like he deserves a lot of credit for bouncing back, and when he was faced with adversity, responding in a really strong way, he deserves credit for that. But you're like against Georgia, against if you play in the SEC title game, I mean that matters less because you're still going to the playoff at that point. But if you dig yourself that kind of hole, if you have that kind of first half in the CFP against an Ohio State, against a Georgia or an Oregon or some of these other big dogs, like you're going down. Like you're not winning that football game against the other CFP teams. So like that's one thing. If I'm an A&M fan, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of scary. That kind of implosion is possible, but also on the flip side, like pretty awesome that we have the fight that we can come back from 30-3 in unbelievable fashion. But again, that's not happening against a Georgia, against some of these other teams that they're going to be up against here in the college football playoffs. So that is something you do kind of worry about if you're A&M after this game. You're like, whoa, I didn't know we had that kind. I guess I didn't know we had that kind of floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think A&M fans should definitely be worried about this team moving forward, especially now that everyone's kind of the cream has risen to the top, as so they say, and whatever the opposite of that phrase is. I don't know what sinks to the bottom, but that's who Texas A&M has played. Like the fact that they haven't played one team in the top 8 of the conference through 7 of their SEC games is just kind of insane. So, to their credit, kind of like Indiana a year ago, they have beaten most of their schedule pretty handedly. But, to have a game like this with the South Carolina team, who's currently 15th in the SEC, is that right? Tied for like it's not great.
Not great. Final big one here, Matt Green. Ole Miss, they blank Florida 14-0 in the second half to beat the Gators. Is there a more confusing team in the SEC this year than the Florida Gators?
No, that's probably fair. Although it might not be that confusing. It might just be like, they had a really bad head coach, and that's pretty much that explains everything.
But I mean,
I don't know.
Post Billy Napier, they're still confounding. I think a Kentucky blowout loss. They get up for Georgia. They get up for Ole Miss, and you're like, I have no idea what they're going to look like against Tennessee on Saturday night. No idea. No clue. Like everyone's going down. The Wilsons are down. Lagway gets benched one week, back looking like a superstar the next. Like I have no idea what Florida is week to week. No idea.
Yeah, that's fair. To get up the way they did against Georgia and Ole Miss and just have a 38-7 versus Kentucky sandwiched in there is pretty wild. Yeah, I have no idea what to expect out of this team. I feel like they have some talent. They're a competitive team, but I did feel like they were going to give Ole Miss a game in this one, just vibes wise. I don't know if I'm trying to read in Lane Kiffin with the off-field distractions. He seems to have been doing a good job of not making it a distraction. But yeah, I mean, Ole Miss just keeps winning. Like, what are they, like 99% chances to make the playoff or something right now? Like, this is pretty wild. Ole Miss is having a great season. It's just, I don't think they have one of the tougher schedules in the SEC either, but they're just finding a way to get it done. So I don't know. There's not much more to say about this game. Which are you taking from an Ole Miss or from a Florida perspective? Like, what's more interesting?
Definitely Florida, because I think Ole Miss, I mean, yeah, they lost to Florida last year, but that was a very different Florida team and a very different, I think, Ole Miss team. Ole Miss has proven a lot more, I think, this year. I think Kawan Lacey, I mean, went off in this game for the Rebs. What was his final line? Do you have it in front of you? Let me pull this up, because
I have this.
31 carries, 224 yards, 3 touchdowns for Kawan Lacey.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Oh, can I throw this out, though?
Throw it.
I think Ole Miss has lost the plot in their uniforms in one key way. I like the powder blue, but the powder blue is an alternate. They've gone away from the navy blue way too much. Like, I don't even remember the last time they've worn navy blue. I feel like the powder blue has now replaced the navy blue as their default shade of blue in their uniforms. It's actually annoying me. I don't know if it's the same with you, but I feel like we're not getting the navy and red nearly enough with Ole Miss anymore. Like, I like the powder blue. Like, all their uniforms are good, but the powder blue should be the alternate that you wear once or twice a year, but the primary should still be the navy. Am I crazy for this?
As the uniforms are, I'll allow it. I agree with that take. I like the powder blue helmet with the red jersey. I think that's always strong. I think there's some teams that have done this in recent years, and I'm not sure. Like Baylor, like kind of went from being, dark green and gold to being like yellow at some point. I'm not sure. Is that an official? Did they officially change their colors like to yellow from like the old classic gold? Like Oregon now. Or they're just like Kelly green and yellow, I guess. Like none of like the dark green anymore. I don't know. I need an official announcement when teams are changing their actual color. Pitt, I guess, is another one who like had that period where they're navy and gold. Now they're back to being like blue and yellow. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Ole Miss is doing too many things with their uniforms. Like the powder blue, navy blue, red. Like I don't know. You got to pick a lane. I'm gonna second your notion on that one.
Well, Ole Miss playoff team, Oklahoma playoff team, Georgia playoff team. Who else
That's
are we getting in
3.
here? Alabama playoff team.
Yeah, that would be 4. Did you say Texas A&M?
Texas A&M, that's 5. And Vandy has a chance to go 10-2. Would they leave Vandy out?
Vandy's definitely the one that would get left out if someone was
at 10-2. Leaving Vandy out would be oof.
Well, and if you look at the rankings right now, at least the AP poll that came out today, like Vandy is 12. So I mean, if they went out, they could easily get up to like 11, 10, 9. Like I think it's you got to get to 10, I think, because then those whatever other automatic bids, ACC or American or Conference USA, whoever gets in, like one of those teams is going to get in. So if you get into the top 10, I think you're safe. So, I mean, if they finish the season 10-2 with a win over number 15, what's Tennessee right now? Wherever Tennessee is at the end of the season, like it's going to be a pretty solid resume. A competitive loss to Texas and a competitive loss to Alabama would be the only losses on the schedule, both on the road.
Yeah.
Like,
I have a take.
Hit me.
10-2 Vanderbilt should get in over 10-2 Notre Dame.
Ooh. I mean, I'd like to see the resumes stacked up for sure. What's Notre Dame's best win? USC?
Yeah, I think that's their best win.
What would Vanderbilt's best win be at this point?
Vanderbilt's got a couple. I mean, that would be if they got in at 10-2.
One of them.
I mean, it would be at Tennessee. It would be
Missouri, LSU.
Missouri.
They don't have a loaded resume.
That's true, because LSU is not. But LSU was big at the time. LSU was a top 10 win at the time.
They broke.
Mizzou was a little bit different a month ago too.
Yeah.
Almost beat Texas 34-31. I don't know. I think it's a conversation.
No, that's fair. I'm here for it. What is the committee going to do? Put a 6th SEC team or put in Notre Dame?
I mean, they're putting in Notre Dame, but I think there's a better argument that Vandy should actually get that nod, even as the 6th SEC team.
I don't hate it. I'd like to see the resumes stacked up next to each other.
Final one. Big picture here, Matt Green. Don't look now, but the Wolverines, does anyone realize that as irrelevant as Michigan has felt all year long, they have 2 losses and they get Ohio State at home, who they've beaten 4 years in a row here? That, look, Ohio State's not played in a nationally televised game, it feels like, since Texas 3 months ago. But that is on the radar here, obviously, in 2 weeks. But, man, I do think it's interesting because right now the Big Ten's got 3 teams making the playoff. Like, USC's got to beat Oregon if the Big Ten's going to get 4 guaranteed here, I think. So the Big Ten quietly needs USC to upset Oregon on the road this Saturday. But my question is
10-2 Oregon definitely get in?
Yeah, no question. 10-2 Oregon's getting in.
I mean, who's their best win?
I mean, they're just getting in. I'll just
they ain't play nobody, Paul.
10-2 Oregon, no question, they're getting in. But I do think, like, if Ohio State beats Michigan, will the committee go with a 9-3 Michigan or a 9-3 USC for a fourth Big Ten spot, or would they go 2 Big 12 teams if BYU, who looked great again this weekend, bouncing back, TCU at home, their only losses to Texas Tech? What if they beat Texas Tech in a rematch in the Big 12 title game? Because Texas Tech is still in that scenario. Do you screw over one of the Big 12 teams or who lose that title game and put in a 9-3 Big 10 team? That's something that I think might come up here, Matt Green.
Yeah, I mean, what are they sitting at? Like Texas Tech's like 7, BYU's like flirting with the top 10, right? I mean, Utah's even they're like 2. They're both right there, right? 11, 12.
Utah
13.
needs some help.
Would they have one more loss than BYU does?
Yeah, BYU's only got one loss.
Okay. Yeah, I think under that scenario, I'd take the Big 12 team over.
I would too.
The fourth team in the Big 10 is just I don't know. Like it's definitely USC blasted Michigan, so it's no conversation of which one it would be though. Like it's definitely be USC.
True.
But yeah, I think I'm not convinced they would, but I think I would probably take a second Big 12 team.
I don't think a lot of people would like
SMU,
it.
like they did SMU a year ago.
Yeah, I think I would do that. I just don't know if the committee would do it. I would be very curious how that would go.
I don't like the precedent of you can't be penalized for losing a conference championship. Like someone like A&M, like if A&M were to run the table here, well, maybe they don't run the table. Maybe A&M loses to Texas and they're a one-loss team in the SEC championship. And if they lose to say Georgia or Alabama in the SEC championship, I think A&M should be punished kind of significantly because they will be a 11-2 team with like no good wins just about. Well, like Missouri is like their best win. Like they did beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame is up there as well. But like A&M's resume will not be very impressive at 11-2, even though they will have, that's the thing in the old SEC. Like you couldn't put a team like, well, I mean, they put Alabama in the playoff, even though Auburn won the West and lost the SEC championship that one year. But like, because there's not this clear criteria, like A&M going 11-1, say they do hypothetically, will have proven nothing as far as being better than Georgia, who will be 11-1 in the regular season, or Ole Miss, who is 11-1 in the regular season. It's like, there is no head-to-head that they would own over them. So if they were to go 11-1 and lose in the SEC championship to Alabama, say, like you honestly should have Ole Miss and Georgia ahead of A&M in the playoff because I think their resumes would be better and they would have more quality wins. So I'm really curious to see how they approach the conference championship losers because I was not a fan of just not punishing anyone at all for losing a conference championship last year. Like that was an odd precedent to me. Like, so we're just not going to make the conference championship matter at all. Like it's just kind of weird.
That's fair. Well, that's all I've got, Matt Green. Any other thing you want to hit on before we wrap up here tonight?
That's all I got, man. It's nice to, of all the fan bases to dominate, for Georgia to dominate the Texas Longhorns. It feels real good. I feel like Georgia's doing that on behalf of the entire Southeastern Conference, humbling the Longhorns that have strolled into this conference and they think it's been too easy to this point. I'm glad to see Georgia eliminate Texas from SEC championship and most likely college ball playoff contention, right? Texas is done. There's no chance of them making the playoff, right? 9-3 Texas, they don't get in.
If they were to beat A&M comfortably, it could.
I don't know. Maybe if they were to beat A&M comfortably, and then we see some more losses.
Yeah,
like things get real crazy. There's a lot of 2 and 3 loss teams or something. I don't know, maybe, but the fact that we're at this point in the season and half the SEC's got a bye week next week is probably not. There's probably not multiple losses happening for many teams left.
Well, I'm glad all eyes will be on Tennessee, Florida. Great. Love it. I'm glad all of America will be watching the Vols.
Yeah, and I
in the
know
swamp.
Oklahoma's got 2. Is it Oklahoma, Missouri next week?
Yeah, did you see Bo Perbula's going to play? It looks like.
Really?
Yeah, Matt Zenitz was reporting like an hour ago that he's working to get cleared or something. I'm paraphrasing here, but he did tweet out something along those lines. I can pull up the exact tweet here. Hold on. Yeah, he said sources tell CBS Sports that there's early optimism that Mizzou quarterback Bo Perbula may be able to return to action and start when the Tigers face Oklahoma on Saturday.
All right, I'm here for the old school Big 12 rivalry reborn. Arkansas, Texas, old school Southwest Conference rivalry. Kentucky, Vanderbilt. Any chance Kentucky goes out and slays another giant this week?
Man, that'd be funny.
Slays the giant of the Vanderbilt Commodores. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be a fun week, man.
I kind of hope that doesn't happen though, because I'd really like for Tennessee to be the team that keeps Vanderbilt out of the college football playoff.
Yeah, and I really want the stakes of the Tennessee Vanderbilt rivalry. We haven't seen much on the line in a Tennessee Vanderbilt rivalry game, so that'll.
We did last year. What do you mean?
What was on the line last year?
If Tennessee lost the game last year, they don't make the playoff.
Yeah, but I mean, but Vanderbilt was what 6-5. I mean,
Vanderbilt was good last year. I mean, they
were fine.
They beat Alabama.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, that's a little something. It was a little interesting last year. I think that when Vanderbilt's the higher ranked team, I feel like it's significantly more interesting because we know Tennessee most likely has a better roster, but I don't know. It'll be a few weeks away from that one, but we gotta get by the Gators here first before we can start talking about the Commodores.
This is true. Matt Green, always a pleasure, and I'll talk to you again in a couple days.
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.